Citizen journalist Bill Moyers is returning to PBS after a 2-year hiatus with a weekly show in production. PBS will debut Moyers' 90-minute documentary, Buying the War, later this week, in an attempt to uncover the media's role in the run-up to the war in Iraq. Now, a lot of people are questioning Moyers' neutrality, and the fact is his work is done on the taxpayer's dime, leaving many conservatives up in arms. Joining us now is the president of the Media Research Center, Brent Bozell, and from After Downing Street, David Swanson. You know, listening to conservatives, Brent, you think that PBS only does liberals like Bill Moyers, forgetting the fact that America at a crossroads, 19 films that are all over the political spectrum. So certainly PBS does fund lots of different points of view, but they're going after the media and how the media was complicit in the run-up to the war, with the Washington Post doing 27 pro-war in Iraq editorials. That's what this is about, Brent. Oh, no, and he has a good point.
No, Alan, it's about a whole bunch more than that. It's about Bill Moyers not just doing this neutrality-based program, but going after conservatives and conservative organizations. Let me ask you this question, Alan. Do you work for a slime machine?
Do I work for a slime machine? No, I don't work for a slime machine.
Look, but
he's free to say whatever he wants. What is your point, Mr. Bozell?
Are you ready to denounce Bill Moyers? Because he said you do.
Do I have to agree with everything Bill Moyers says? Is that the litmus test which I must walk on?
Fox News is a slime machine.
All right. Well, you're just trying to divert attention away from what this is really about, which is a PBS documentary which shows how the media, including the so-called liberal Washington Post, the so-called liberal New York Times, was complicit with articles like Judith Miller, with people like William Safire defending this war, and things that turned out later not to be true. That's what Bill Moyers is pointing out in this PBS documentary, how the media helped the run-up to the war and Bush's argument for war.
Do you, if you want to have a discussion on this and hold a point of view that I may disagree with and air it on PBS, that's perfectly fine by me, provided two things. Provided you let the other side have a voice, and provided you don't distort and try to discredit people in the process. And that's exactly what Bill Moyers did. And I'll challenge you this. You name me a single program ever in the history of PBS that is to the right, analogous to what Bill Moyers is doing.
America at a Crossroads has many right-wing films, but David Swanson, this is just an attempt to smear Bill Moyers. Let me get the other guest in, Brent. People can't stand the fact, conservatives especially, that Bill Moyers actually is pointing out facts about how we were misled in the run-up to the war and how the media was complicit in those arguments.
Well, what we see here is not much from Bill Moyers' voice. We see clips from 4 years ago of numerous pundits who look remarkably foolish, and not just because they were mistaken, but because they accepted absurdities without the bare minimum of thought or research. You know, Saddam Hussein was a secularist and a control freak. He would never have worked with Al-Qaeda. He would never have put bioweapons labs under his house and told Kurds about it. Iraqis didn't train by blowing up full-size mock U.S. destroyers in a lake.
Weapons against innocent people, the Kurds in the north. We knew that he had this. I got to be honest here. What's wrong with all of this? I don't really give a. Nobody cares what Bill Moyers says. He's irrelevant. But it's the fact that tax dollars are going to be used here, Brent Bozell. So he could selectively edit to make his left-wing case, to support his left-wing agenda, and we're paying for it. Let him go do it on his own. I don't want to pay for his left-wing propaganda film here.
Here's a reality. Here's a fact of life. Bill Moyers cannot get hired on any other network.
Bingo.
I mean, not even MSNBC would hire this man. I mean, he's the Phil Donahue of journalism of 2007. But here's also the reality.
He's a left-wing extremist.
What he's doing is he's making the American taxpayer that wants nothing to do with him pay for him to go on the air with these kind of stuff. Now, Alan Combs, why can't I want Alan Combs to denounce this man for saying that you work for a slime network.
You're stuck on that one point. Did you denounce PBS when they for years supported William F. Buckley's conservative show?
Let me go to the videotape here. Let me go to this. This was Bill Moyers attacking little old Sean Hannity. But again, taxpayer dollars paying for him to do this. I'm not asking for the taxpayers when I attack Alan Combs and all his liberal friends.
How dare you?
What would happen?
Here's what he ran. Let's run it.
What would happen? On the eve of the election last month, my wife Judith and I were driving home late in the afternoon and turned on the radio for the traffic and weather. What we instantly got was a freak show of political pornography, lies, distortions, and half-truths. Half-truths being perhaps the blackest of all lies. They paraded before us as informed opinion. Sean Hannity, Fox's other popular anchor, the same Sean Hannity, syndicated on 420 radio stations, took Fair and Balanced out on the road.
Actually, it was 525, but, you know. But you talk about lies, distortions, and half-truths. This is all this is. He cuts up the tape any way he wants it, and we pay for it, Brent. But anyway, make your point. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Well, here's the great irony. At the same time this is going on, there's another filmmaker. His name is Frank Gaffney. He's produced a film for CPB. They paid him $700,000 to do it, on Islam versus Islamists. There are left-wingers at PBS who won't let him run it because they say he's a conservative, because in his day job he runs
That's not true. He will not conform to their standards. There were structural problems with the film.
There's nothing wrong with the film.
And your taxpayer dollars went to Frank Gaffney. Conservative Frank Gaffney got our taxpayer dollars.
And you would support this film.
Thank you. 19 of 20 films are being made, with Gaffney's being the exception, because he will not conform to their standards.
Because a conservative can't.
Thank you both very much.